The following video may contain adult language and themes. Your discretion is strongly advised. Please, if you have a problem with this, stop playing this video now. Hidden gem time. Hidden gem time, ladies and gentlemen. I just saw a hidden gem. It's called Intruder. It was released in 1989. Barely made it to the 80s. By the skin of my teeth. Rated 6.3 on Internet Movie Database, which is surprising. A little bit low. I was expecting it to be a little higher. And the synopsis, let me give you a quick synopsis of what this is. Basically, there's this group of people that work at this supermarket, and they're there late at night, and in the middle of the day, in the middle of their shift, this guy, this former boyfriend of one of the employees comes in, and he's in love with her, and she just won't, he just won't get the hint, and she's like, "Go away! I broke up with you a long time ago." And like he gets in a scuffle with all the other employees and stuff, and they throw him out because he's basically obsessing over her, and he starts to hit her kind of, and so they throw him out. And there's a whole scene where like there's sort of a fight, a mini fist fight. So they throw him out and they call the cops, and the cops come by and they can't find him because they think he left. So then they're like, "Okay, if you have any trouble, just call us." And then in the middle of the night, they find out, everybody in the store finds out that they're closing. The two owners decided to sell it. So they're like, "This is mark everything half price because everything must go, and we'll give you a bonus and we appreciate all your hard work, but we're closing. We've sold the store." So they're all disappointed about that, and so they're working there for I don't think it's the last time. I think they're closing like at the next month or something. But they're marking everything down half price and everything, and then in the middle of the night, during their shift, people start getting killed off, and the movie plays it out like we're supposed to think it's the former boyfriend that got thrown out that's doing all the killing. But you can kind of tell that that's sort of a red herring, and it's not really him. I don't think it's a spoiler to say that, because you can tell that they're trying to. It's very obvious by the way they do it that they want you to think it's the boyfriend, but it's not going to be him in the end. This is a really good horror movie, I thought. It's only rated 6.3, which is surprising. Directed by Scott Spiegel. It's a horror thriller. Who stars in it? Elizabeth Cox, Renée Estevez. I think I recognize her from something. Dan Hicks, David Burns, don't recognize him. Sam Raimi, actually, is an actor in this. Eugene Robert Glazer, Billy Marty, Burr Steers, Craig Stark, Ted Raimi, the Raimi brothers, and Bruce Campbell has a very short appearance in it. I don't really recognize anybody else in the cast. Let me see. But yeah, I don't recognize anybody else. But those are pretty much the main people. This is a hidden gem. This really is. How would I describe this? If you like the Friday the 13th movies at all, you will like this movie. In fact, I almost think this was a Friday the 13th like script that they sort of converted into this movie, because it almost seems like that. Like, I would not be surprised if it turned out it was Jason at the end killing everybody. In fact, if you put Jason in this at the end and called this a Friday the 13th movie, I would say this is one of the better Friday the 13th movies. But it's not. It's not Friday the 13th movie. This movie, it's kind of surprising on Internet Movie Database that they don't have it categorized as a comedy as well, because it is. They just have a horror thriller because it is a comedy. You can tell that it's poking fun at the horror genre. It's basically an 80s horror movie, barely, that's poking fun at other 80s horror movies. And you could dismiss it. You could say it's not poking fun at it, but I disagree. It's subtle how they do it. It's kind of subtle. You can sort of see it's there. I don't think it was by accident, but I think they really are poking fun at the genre. I would have liked it better. If you don't know anything about me, I don't like horror comedies. I just don't. I think those are two of the most polar opposite emotions. Being scared shitless and laughing don't go well together. But I like this movie because the comedy is so subtle, and it's almost not even there. I would have liked it better, though, if they had removed the comedy aspect altogether. And you can tell it's sort of meant as a comedy, because when the girl at the end, obviously nobody, like, the killer's killing everybody off one by one in very creative ways, I might add, and obviously nobody knows what's going on until the very end, when the main girl, obviously, finds out what's going on and starts running around screaming. and she sees all these hacked up bodies, and like this one guy shoved into a I think it's like a barrel or something, and he's all hacked up, and it says half price, and he's chopped in half. So obviously it's meant to be sort of corny and cheesy, and some of the kills are so like over the top. Like that's one thing this movie kind of treaded the line on, was making the kills way too creative. I like creative kills, but it gets to a certain point where it kind of breaks the fourth wall, because the killer it because this is sort of why I didn't like the movie Hatchet, the Hatchet series, because if the killer gets too creative, it's like, okay, why is this killer so creative? Why is he trying to one up himself each time he kills? He's like, oh well, I killed this person with a buzzsaw. Oh, I gotta kill him more creatively this time. Like, why is he doing that? The only logical explanation is either he's so crazy he gets kicks out of it, or he's doing it to impress the audience, to impress us, which means he's breaking the fourth wall, which I don't like. But the kills in this are really creative. But like I said, it doesn't go that far though. It does show some restraint. Like, I think that's the whole reason why I watched this movie, because I saw a poster of it, and you see this guy whose his head has been cut literally in half horizontally, and it was just, wow, Jesus, that was very violent, and just on the movie poster, so I had to check this out. But yeah, the killer kind of gets a little too creative, and it sort of starts to break the fourth wall, because it's like, okay, I guess he could be that psychotic and demented that he wants to be, oh, like, how can I need to do it in an art form, like, how can I do it creatively this time, you know what I mean? It's like he has to you know what I mean, he's like an artist almost. He has to do it so creatively each time. The only reason he'd do that, like, why would he go through that much trouble? Okay, I mean, it gets to a point where if you're going to kill someone with that much creativity, it becomes a hassle, you know what I mean? The only reason, yeah, like I said, the only reason you do that is to show off to the audience, which is breaking the fourth wall. But anyway, and the other part of this movie I did not like was the twist at the end. The twist is pretty bad as to who was actually killing all these people. It's pretty bad, and you could say that, oh, it was meant to be bad. It was supposed to be a bad twist because it's making fun of the horror genre. That's why I don't like spoofs. Horror movie spoofs, most horror movie spoofs, because they can just excuse stupid bad stuff by saying, well, it's supposed to be that way because it's making fun of horror movies, and saying it's just not even putting the effort into it. It's defying the what's the it's defying what's the word? It's defying what you'd expect. It's not trying to be clever. It's just doing some stupid. Okay, let's get into spoilers. Basically, it turns out one of the owners is the one who's killing everybody, and the reason why he's doing it is because he doesn't want to sell the place, and the other owner who owns more of the share wants to. So he starts killing everybody, and he's trying to make it look like the crazy boyfriend did it. He's trying to frame him. He knocked out the crazy boyfriend, and it was basically going to kill everybody and say, "Oh, the crazy boyfriend did it." That's basically what happens in the end. But and it sounds like with all these complaints, I hated this. Like, I hated this movie. I didn't. It's really good. This is a very underrated movie. I'm surprised it doesn't get more coverage. Like, I've seen a lot of horror movies, and I'd never heard of this. And this is a really good horror movie. Yeah, like I said, it's got a guest appearance by Bruce Campbell at the end. And it's got both the Raimi brothers. So if you're a fan of the Evil Dead series, obviously you should check this out. The gore is very violent. Some of it kind of looked fake, but it was very creative kills. Like I said, good thing it didn't get too creative, because I hate it when they do that. Like, I'll probably go into that later as to why I don't like the Hatchet series, but that's one of the biggest problems I have with it. Is the kills are way too creative. Like, I don't know. It's hard to explain. But anyway, it's a good movie. Intruder, check it out. Released in 1989. I think I'd give this I'm thinking a 7. Maybe that's too high. Maybe, I don't know. I'll check out some of the other movies I rated and rate this accordingly. But anyway, check it out. Intruder, 1989, hidden gem. Thanks. Bye.